gotta leave me, I know my lane. Wouldn't believe what I overcame. So trust me before I leave, you gon' know my name. Baby, you gon' know my name. And everything I overcame, I know my lane. Trust me before I leave, you gon' know my name. Knees is Uzi. Boy, I ain't done till I'm number one like 2, 3. Boy, try to stop me, you gon' have to shoot me. Boy, order vest, next bulletproof SUV. Boy, I'm doing me. Funny when I started doing that, all of a sudden numbers started moving fast like NASCAR. When the numbers moving on the track, yeah, speaking of a track, name one, I ain't spazzed on. I'll wait. Now take your time, I got all day. Boy, been this dope since 9th grade. What you know about dues I paid? Jesus told me, love my enemies. You don't know the prayers that I pray. You don't know the days that I knelt. You don't know the cards that I dealt. You don't know me, but say go to hell. You gon' feel the pain that I felt, and that's real. Try to make me bleed, you gon' feel my pain. You ain't gotta leave me, I know my lane. Wouldn't believe what I overcame. So trust me before I leave, you gon' know my name. Yeah, baby, you gon' know my name. And everything I overcame, I know my lane. So trust me before I leave, you gon' know my name. Uzi. Stop playing on slaying shit like Uzis. Haters praying that I fall off like loose leaves. Rappers praying for a page out of my little sleeve. Boy, I'm doing me. Funny when I started doing that, I got death threats. Oh, you big man, talking about you know where I live at. I rethink that, if you think that I hesitate, this kickback make you levitate. And I'm 2A on every day, so that hold true for any state. Yeah, talk shit if you want to, thinking that you know what I gone through. Drop 5 albums, not one feature. Boy, I stand on my own too. Boy, I say what I want to. Ain't no label gon' censor me. I made myself all by myself, being me, and that's all I ever be, and that's real. Try to make me bleed, you can feel my pain. You ain't gotta leave me, I know my lane. Wouldn't believe what I overcame. So trust me before I leave, you gon' know my name. Yeah, baby, you gon' know my name. And everything I overcame, I know my lane. So trust me before I leave, you gon' know my name.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are officially live with another episode of Tactical Pineapple Live. And I apologize, I'm a couple minutes late. Things were not going in my favor. Internet issue, apparently. We can just blame the Clintons for this one. So if you didn't catch the title of the stream, it is the body count increases. So you should have a little bit of a clue what we're going to talk about. But a short disclaimer before we get this thing started. I, number one, do not own any rope in this house that is strong enough to hang my fat ass. And number two, I would never do such a thing. I love my life. I love fucking talking to you guys every single week. I love my family, and that is all I have to say about that. So I don't have a tattoo on my right arm that says whacked with a money sign in front of it, but I can promise you, like John McAfee, I would not kill myself. So, welcome to fucking Friday night. It is another gorgeous fucking night tonight here in town. It is super hot outside. It's nice and chilly inside. I feel good about being in the basement tonight because it is comfortable compared to outside. Anybody who's been going through the heat wave that we've had here in the Midwest, which, yes, I know it's not nearly as bad as it was down in Arizona or anything like that, or Nevada, but let's face it, you fuckers live in the desert. You should fucking expect it. Up here, we're used to snow 9 months out of the year. So, I'm here, guys. I'm planning on being here for a little bit. I've cleared the schedule off for a little while. We're going to get into the shit. So I'm pretty sure the majority of people here understand and know what the Clinton body count is. We're going to go ahead and say it because YouTube's probably going to say, you know what, we don't like the way you talk about this, and say, you know, it's all conspiracies. I'm probably going to get a little tag up. We don't know. It's going to be fun, though. we're going to have fun with this. So, if y'all haven't heard already, billionaire eccentric John McAfee was found dead in a Spanish prison. Apparently, he Epsteined himself. His lawyer even came out and said that he did it. So, I mean, it must be true. His lawyer said he hung himself. He must have hung himself. Unfortunately for the family of John McAfee, for anybody who is fans of John McAfee, that means there was no more John McAfee. Oddly enough, it seems as though 3 or 4 months ago, he had it in his head this was going to happen. Posted on Twitter, said he was going to get whacked so that he would never kill himself. Even tattooed his right arm with a money symbol and said whacked, WACKD. Have no idea the meaning of the dropped E or the money symbol. Haven't dug too deep into any conspiracies on the whole deal, but let's just face it. John McAfee had inside 8-ball information. He knew the Clintons extremely well, and it's only a coincidence, right, that he is like the 90th fucking person to die after saying he has information on highly, powerful individuals. I can only hope that the dead man switch he said he put in place is real. I haven't seen anything yet. Doesn't mean it's not there. Doesn't mean it hasn't been out there. I'm not exactly in the loop on some of this stuff here. It's an amazing thing. What the heck is going on here, Mario? We don't know what the heck's going on here. We are talking ourselves into a corner with a certain family that runs the syndicate here in the United States. But we're going to have fun doing it, so I hope everybody's ready. Obviously we know about a lot of the individuals tied to it, but I'm literally going to kind of run down the list today of what people have suspected tied to the Clintons. I'm not saying it is or is not an actual conspiracy. People were actually killed by the Clintons. I'm not saying any of these people weren't killed by the Clintons. I'm just going to be here to point out all of the fucking coincidence that goes along with being a Clinton family member and having anybody who has information that goes against your better wishes. So, without further ado, we have an extremely high-tech, high-quality program that I'm going to be using to help us go through this list. It's rather impressive list. I believe it uses UTF-8 encoding even. Jesus, people, what are we going to do? Without further ado, let's jump into Notepad. Yep, you heard it here, folks. Notepad. Why not? Notepad is just as good as any other program at keeping data in small packages. And you don't need to see your own chat. Pull you over here. All right, folks. So, first and foremost, this list is not exhaustive. It literally picks up pretty much around the 94, 96 time frame. Some of these aren't even in chronological order. I literally pulled together what I could as fast as I could without putting in too much effort. It wasn't extremely difficult, to be completely honest. However, there is a list supposedly back to around the 70s when you can find unfortunate pictures of individuals who shall remain nameless with donkeys painted on their bellies in bathing suits, because I'm sorry I'm not sharing that image with y'all because I don't want to be the one responsible for burning that into your skull. But now I've put it out there. You're probably going to search for it. You will find it. You don't have to thank me right now, but you can thank me whenever the fuck you want. If you look at that picture and you want to off me, too bad. So sad. As I said, I will never kill myself. So, first and foremost, folks, everybody knows about Ron Brown, correct? Ron Brown died in a plane crash. I'm going to pull up a little bit more high-tech program, and we're going to say, okay, the assassination of Ron Brown. This is from WND. You can take it however you want to. This is just kind of a quick documentary type report here, but on April 4th, 1996, the subject of my radio show in Kansas City was Commerce Secretary Ron Brown. Now, keep in mind, this article is written by Jack Cashill. Take it as you want. I'm not saying either way. I'm just putting the information out here. He and 34 others had died the day before when their Air Force plane crashed into a Croatian mountainside. Okay? Shit happens, right? Planes crash. It is what it is. So not one to shy from exploitation of a tragedy, President Clinton was busily profaning the memory of Martin Luther King, who had been killed on April 4th, 1968, by comparing King's mission to Brown's. What Clinton did not say was that Brown had gone to Croatia to broker a sweetheart deal between the neo-fascist strongman who ran Croatia, Frank Tudjman, and Enron Corporation. Yes, Enron. That was all part of the Clintons' desperate drive to raise money for their 1996 re-election campaign. So don't forget that, folks. Enron itself was behind the Clintons. We all know what happened with Enron. What do we got here? I'll take it with salt and pepper, says Mario. Yeah, that's about right. Do you want it in the rectum or do you want it in your mouth? Because I hear they give it to you both ways. All right, so Brown's fight did leave Bosnia. I skipped a whole paragraph there. When I began my investigation for my book, Ron Brown's Body, I thought, however, that I might very well find another link to the mega fix chain. That is, the cover-up of a terrorist incident for the sake of political advantage. Brown's flight did leave Bosnia, a Muslim country swarming with mujahideen. This flight came just 6 months after the Dayton Accords and the insertion of American troops, an unpopular move. I figured that if a terrorist missile shot Brown's plane out of the sky or a hijacker flew into a mountain, the Clinton White House would have good cause to conceal this fact. Woo! Mario wants it in the booty. He likes the pepe in the booty. But I was wrong. The evidence does not support a terrorist scenario. Here's what we know for sure about Ron Brown's last days. To protect his son, Michael, from prison. Not that Michael Brown, different Michael Brown, coincidental. Ron Brown threatens to expose the White House's yet unrevealed Asian fundraising scheme in which Brown played a major role. Just weeks before his death, Brown starts going to church for the first time in his life. He is scared for his life and that of his confidant, Nalanda Hill. The Croatian government insists on Dubrovnik, stop an unprecedented 36 hours before Brown's scheduled landing. The Enron executives took their own plane, and the Air Force calls the pilot's nearly 2-mile deviation into a Croatian hillside inexplicable. No aircraft has ever drifted inland before at that airport. The AWACS data suggests sabotage of the ground-based navigation system, a line of inquiry that the Air Force is not allowed to pursue. So for the first time ever on friendly soil, the White House orders the Air Force to skip the safety phase of the investigation and move directly to the accident phase. There is to be no consideration other than accident, even though this airport is near the Bosnian border and in a potential hot fire zone. 3 days after the crash, and 2 days before his scheduled interview by the Air Force, the Croatian responsible for the airport's navigation system is found with a bullet hole in his chest. A day later, every pathologist who views Brown's body concludes his head wound, at the very least, looks like a bullet hole. In a decision that reached the White House, there is to be no autopsy. The Brown family is not informed, nor is there any forensic testing or a search for an exit wound. The head x-ray that shows a possible lead snowstorm are destroyed. Officially, they're lost. The 3 Air Force pathologists at the forensic photographer who blow the whistle on this case had their careers destroyed. In silencing these dissidents, the Air Force Institute of Pathology, brass, assured the public that Brown died of multiple blunt force injuries, like the others. The death certificate says otherwise. It notes that Brown died of blunt force injuries to the head. He was the only one of the 35 victims to have a reported head wound. Frank Tudgman, who was feared a trip to The Hague as a war criminal, shows up a week after the election at the Walter Reed Army Hospital to have his cancer treated. His son, Miroslav, investigates the death of the navigation chief and rules it a suicide. The investigation strongly suggests that Ron Brown was in fact assassinated. In the most likely scenario, Croatian intelligence agents coerced the navigation chief into sabotaging the airport's non-directional radio beacon. After the plane crashes, they divert the rescue effort, go to the crash site, administer a coup de grace to Brown, who may already be dead. 3 days later, they murder the airport's navigation chief, lest the Air Force investigators persuade him to talk. Who commissioned the Croatians is not known. Although the list of suspects is small, if the commission came from Washington, it likely did not include the destruction of the aircraft. Although not technically terrorism, the mega fix paradigm works here just the same. The White House undermines the investigation and exploits the political advantage. The Clintons do not want to know the truth about Ron Brown's death, and they certainly do not want to share it. In this case, it is impossible to lay the blame on the FBI. That much maligned agency is not involved. This time, the Clintons use a reluctant Air Force and nearly mutinous Armed Forces Institute of Pathology to bury Ron Brown as quickly as possible, literally and figuratively. They exploit Brown's death for political advantage and leave the truth buried with him without an autopsy or a serious investigation. That's pretty much as far as I'm going to go there. I mean, it goes a little bit deeper into this, but it kind of sets up a little bit there. So as far as Ron Brown is concerned, I think there's plenty of questions to be had, and there's only a few individuals who are at that list, and the Clintons are kind of at the top of it. But then you look at the whole on top of this. Ron Brown's lawyer was killed shortly thereafter, mind you, April 1996, in a drive-by shooting. This is literally the same month. Unbelievably, impeccably. You couldn't make this shit up. Killed in a drive-by shooting. There were 34 other passengers on that plane with Ron Brown. A stewardess was rescued several hours after the crash alive. She died en route to the hospital from blood loss due to a cut femoral artery sustained in the crash. So she was found hours after the crash. She suffered a femoral artery laceration that killed her on the way to the hospital while they had medical treatment and all that available. Possible, I guess. However, femoral arteries don't typically heal themselves up. They go from being squirters to being drainers over time. And hours after a crash, if you had a femoral laceration, you would have already been dead. There's no... If your femoral laceration was not bad enough that after hours you hadn't already bled out, once medical treatment was there and people were available to help you, you're not going to die on your way to the hospital. I don't care if you're in Croatia or if you're in fucking Zimbabwe. They understand the use of a tourniquet. It's a fairly simple process of using one of those, and they've been around in pretty much every country in any way, shape, or form to help prevent damage. And like I said, she lived for hours before she was found. So it's highly unlikely that that femoral artery cut happened in the plane crash. Just putting that out there. We'll move on from the Ron Brown. Yeah, what a coincidence, says Mario. What a coincidence. It's such a happy it's a weird coincidence, folks. All right. Now, Admiral Borda, Chief of Naval Operations, pulling this up here. This is just from a little blog. Somebody kind of put some information together. The Borda, Clinton, and Williams. We'll make this a little bit bigger. Maybe we can't. It'll be good. Here we go. A little better for your eyes to see it. All right, so Borda, Clinton, and Williams, the decline of honor and the rise of rascals. Evening, Crazy Eyes. Welcome to the shit show. I hope you brought your rope. Well, we're all having a lynching party over here. So Borda, Clinton, and Williams, the decline and the rise of rascals. The nation's capital and the nation's military service were rocked by the word that Admiral Jeremy Borda had taken a gun from his home, stood in his front yard, and ended his life. It was 1996. Borda had heard that Newsweek magazine was following a lead that would accuse him of wearing 2 service medals reflecting Vietnam-era service to which he had no proper claim. Although Borda served in the Navy and was stationed within the Vietnam area on ships, his ribbons included the V for Valor, a designation typically reserved for awards in the theater of combat, and Borda stopped wearing the V on his ribbons when a military historical group began seeking information on his Vietnam-era service via requests made under the FOIA. Who the fuck is this guy? Laughturd? I don't know who you are. I do not know who you are, Laughturd. Unless that arrow is supposed to be pointing up to Crazy Eyes. Crazy Eyes is Crazy Eyes. Oh man, are we all gonna get Clintoned? No, we're not all gonna get Clintoned because y'all are just here for the ride. I'm not gonna get Clintoned either because I don't own a rope in my house that's strong enough. And guess what? My arms don't reach to the back of my head either, just so we're all aware. I cannot possibly shoot myself in the back of the head. So everybody, we're safe, folks. We're safe. The frogs are turning gay. This is, if Alex Jones can say this stuff, we can say this stuff. He's still alive. We don't have actual proof. There is no proof. We're just talking. We're amongst friends here, having conversation. So we'll skip down here a little bit. Conspiracy theorists will chasten me for not understanding how this was a murder and an act done to hide deeper, darker secrets. I beg their indulgence because the point here depends upon the accepted narrative. This is obviously this is kind of a decent individual. So he's not saying it's a conspiracy. He's not saying whatever. But so the Borda's raft of military ribbons and medals reflected the rise of an enlisted man to the highest rank in the United States Navy, which is 100% true. His, by available information, was a career of dedication and service to the Navy and to the nation. That a man would suffer under such pain of feared humiliation for the Navy, for his family, and for himself, that he would end his own life may be odd to some. It is odd, and I do understand the other side of it where it would come to it. There were more than just words. There were ideals very familiar to us. We saw then our father doing their duty by their service, both they and the sacrifice for our country. By distinguished service, they honored themselves and the nation they served. We also experienced the pain of seeing failings of these principles. Our dad, who retired as a colonel, spent his last duty years as a senior court-martial judge for the Navy's Piedmont District. So he's kind of talking about his own family and seeing it that way. Yeah, his fall came suddenly. Several occasions, Hillary Clinton embellished her telling the tale of a visit she and daughter Chelsea made to Bosnia back in 1996. As the story grew wings of imagination, Hillary recounted how she and Chelsea were forced to run from the plane that just landed, bringing the Tuzla Bosnia to ground cover. This mad dash was Hillary claimed made necessary by the presence and actions of a nearby Bosnia sniper who was firing on them. We all know that story, and we all know that story is bullshit. It did have a ring of plausibility to it, according to this, but whatever. We know it didn't happen. So Admiral Borda, in a terribly sad act, committed suicide as a way, as he understood it, to preserve the honor of the military service, and that's what they're saying. Unlike Wilman, we'll go back here. The story had a ring of plausibility to it. After all, Bosnia, Serbia, we all sort of remember. We deeply involved in some crazy violence and fighting. Who would doubt the specifics of such an instance when it was all said? When it was so well matched to the generally understood fact that life in these countries during a time of significant national turmoil was quite dangerous. Unfortunately for Hillary, witnesses, including the entirely objective witness of a camera, showed that hers was a tale of danger as entirely cut from whole cloth as any Nancy Drew mystery. Ultimately, she was compelled by obvious and overwhelming fact to walk the story back from a precipice of patent prevarication. Unlike Williams, Clinton's deliberate lie on a topic where a lie was completely disconnected from any claim of necessity did not result in swift dispatch from the public scene. We all remember, the reporter and his shit show. So, Black Diamond Guns and Gear. I met Hulk Hogan tonight and got a picture and bandana. That's fantastic. Yeah, brother. Remember to take your vitamins. Oh, what a shell of a man Terry Hulk Hogan is nowadays compared to what he used to be. But hey, at least he is one of those real individuals who kept up most of his body. So it wasn't all steroids. Congratulations to him. It is pretty cool to see it signed. I'd like to know. That is pretty cool. Fuck you, Josh. Yeah, so Crazy Eyes, he shot him in the back of the head. Himself in the back of the head twice. Yes. Borda quickly dispatched of himself by shooting himself in the back of the head twice. Crazy Eyes talking about Hogan. Cool guy, lives in the same city as he did. Well, he did. All right, so yeah, that's what this doesn't really cover. The suicide of Borda is actually one of the first incidences where somebody who knew the Clintons managed to ring the bell from the back of the skull twice. Died from 2 self-inflicted gunshot wounds to the back of the head. Because as if shooting yourself in the back of the head once wasn't hard enough, do it twice. It just means that he was a strong individual, and he earned that V for valor. But I digress. We'll jump into the next one here. Bill Shelton. We're not going to go all full breakdown into these, just because we would be here for a fucking week. Another suicide. In June of 1994, he allegedly shot himself at the gravesite of his fiancée, Kathy Ferguson, who died the month before, also from suicide. Shelton was an Arkansas state trooper who had vocally been proclaiming that his fiancée had not committed suicide. He allegedly shot himself behind the left ear. Yes, this is another individual who shot himself in the back of the head. You will find this is a recurring theme amongst suicided individuals. Only more recently did they start hanging themselves. But the whole story behind Bill Shelton is that actually his wife, or fiance, is listed right below this, Kathy Ferguson, engaged the trooper Bill Shelton. Danny Ferguson allegedly escorted Paula Jones to Clinton's hotel, and Kathy was vocal about her knowledge in the case and was to be a corroborating witness for Paula Jones in her sexual harassment case against Bill Clinton. She, again, allegedly shot herself behind her left ear. Just saying, this is very good. I mean, it is entirely possible for a person who's right-handed to put the pistol in their offhand and put the gun to the back of their head and go bang. That's perfectly capable of being done. Some of these individuals managed to double tap, apparently, but it is kind of a thing. Now, it would be more common if somebody walked up behind you and put that to the back of the ear. Just saying. It's extremely interesting. Now, I do know there are some... I will say this. I don't know specifics of how the bodies were found. I have heard in the incidents of Kathy Ferguson that the gun was found in her right hand, which would make it a sheer impossibility to actually shoot yourself in the back of the head, behind the left ear. That's one hell of a double-jointed son of a bitch. to be able to do that. It's not something I don't believe an individual would do this double jointed action that would be required to do that for a suicide. They would probably take the more direct route. Individuals who are attempting to commit suicide and they actually want to succeed generally get their whole face in front of the shotgun type of situation. I'm just saying, there are people who failed. I know of individuals who have failed, but for the most part, they were probably just asking for help when they failed. So they weren't trying their hardest. We will move on a little bit further. So in the same month that Kathy Ferguson, the attorney for Dan Lasseter, allegedly jumped out of a building to kill himself. He represented, obviously, Dan Lasseter, as I just said, the attorney for Dan Lasseter, a close friend of Bill Clinton, who was indicted on drug charges and sent to prison. Now, the story goes that he had information that Bill Clinton liked to use drugs to induce certain exhibitionist qualities in women. We all know Bill Clinton's a sick son of a bitch. It's entirely possible. So, William had himself some fun back in the day. They say he still does. And Hillary has been helping to cover it up for a long time. Again, like I said, not all of these are in chronological order. Some of these we're going reverse chronological at this point, it appears. The Ronald Rogers incident was another plane crash. An Arkansas dentist for the Clintons, who was killed on the way to interview a London Sunday Telegraph reporter to reveal information that he knew about the Clintons. Coincidental. Completely coincidental. It was just a plane crash, folks. Just your standard, everyday plane crash. Nothing to see here. Yeah, absolutely crazy. So Herschel Friday was also a Clinton attorney and fundraiser whose plane blew up, right? Anybody else following this? I don't believe this was a separate incident. I believe this was together. But everything that I found seems that they may have been separate incidents. So I don't know. But very coincidental that two individuals that the Clintons were close to died in plane crashes in the same month of the same year. I know a lot of people who fly in planes. I don't personally know anybody who's died in a plane crash. I'm sure there are individuals who do know individuals who died in plane crashes. The likelihood of knowing two people who died in separate plane crashes in the same month of the same year is probably limited to the fucking Clintons at this point, folks. Ed Wiley, in November of 1993, died of suicide. He allegedly shot himself in the head in Virginia. He was a real estate attorney and manager of Clinton Presidential Campaign Finance Committee. The whole big fix. Absolutely insane. But somebody might have had information about the Asian partnership, all the people kicking back. It's very coincidental, folks. How about this one here? September of 1993, the head of Clinton's security team in Little Rock, Arkansas, was gunned down in his car outside of Little Rock. His home was broken into before his death, and a dossier on Clinton was taken. No such thing as a coincidence, folks. Not in this case. Stanley Hurd, also September 1993, died in a plane crash. Chair of Chiropractic Healthcare Advisory Committee for the Clintons, who had treated Clinton's mother, stepfather, and brother, was killed in an airplane crash after reporting fire on board. Steve Dixon, 09/1993, counsel to Mr. Hurd, killed in the same crash. So interesting that he was flying with his lawyer. They both died in a plane crash, and they both were subject to inside baseball on the Clintons. John Walker, date unknown, died in an accident. RTC investigator who fell from a balcony of apartment that was also a getaway for Vince Foster. Yeah, Vince Foster, White House staff, allegedly shot in Fort Marcy Park, bullet not found, gun used, stayed in hand. Initial witness said there was no gun. Close friend of the Clintons, alleged possible affair with Hillary, involved in Inslee CIA computer cover-up, tracked Clinton finances and many irregularities in death and its investigation. Sounds a lot like Seth Rich, who haven't talked about yet. Paul Wilshire, in June of 1993, he was murdered. A Washington attorney investigating federal corruption, including MENA BATF assault on Branch Davidians. We all know what we're talking about there. Mr. Chipman was involved. Drop it like it's got what's going on. You wish your noisy neighbors had dirt on Hillary. I think things would be bad for you if your noisy neighbors had dirt on the Clintons. Yeah, sounds legit to me, right? The government and Clintons would never lie. Never. Hey, Scott. Hey, if y'all ain't, I'm telling you already, I'm hoping every single individual in the chat is already subscribed to Drop It Like It's Scott. He is less than 100 folks away from hitting 4,000 subscribers. If you're not already subscribed to him, please go to his channel, subscribe to him. Do it. I don't know what the fuck you're waiting for, folks. If anybody's watching this outside of this that doesn't know who Drop It Like It's Scott is, look Drop It Like It's Scott up in the search bar. Go subscribe to him. 9mm Mondays, fantastic. Always got a word of encouragement in his videos. Does some good stuff, and he's constantly adding to his repertoire. Constantly getting better. Definitely worth going and getting the sub. So, yeah, never lie. Never lie, Mario. They would never lie. Paul Wilshire murdered. We were just talking about that one. The BATF on Branch Davidians. Shortly before his death, he gave Janet Reno with a 99-page affidavit. Planned TV documentary. He was found dead on a toilet before a meeting with Danny Casolaro's attorney. Yeah, poor watermelons. It's watermelon time. Yeah. So, John Wilson, May 1993, died of suicide. Allegedly hung himself. Hey, we got a hanging, folks. First hanging that we're talking about here. Reportedly part of Whitewater and was ready to talk. Coincidence? I think not. Jeffrey Epstein, folks. John McAfee, folks. And, of course, John Wilson. Another hanging suicide. Crazy. Mario Mechanic Molina says the Elvis death. Elvis ain't dead. He lives in Tennessee, folks. Anyways, he's eating peanut butter and banana sandwiches right now, laughing at all of us. Sergeant B. Haney, Sergeant Tim Sable, Major Williams Barkley, Captain Scott Reynolds, all died in a helicopter crash. All four died in the woods near Quantico. All had escorted Clinton on the flight to the Roosevelt. Videotape made by firemen at crash site was seized by the federal authorities. Curious. What could have been on that videotape? All right, 5 aviators who died in a plane crash in March of 1993. All 5 died in a crash when waved off from landing on their carrier, Roosevelt. All 5 has escorted Clinton during his visit to the Roosevelt several weeks earlier. So if we're paying attention there, folks, 5 aviators died in a plane crash and 4 individuals died in a helicopter crash. All of those individuals escorted Clinton to the Roosevelt. Obviously, there's Steve Willis, Robert Williams, Conway LeBlanc, Todd McKeon in the Waco assault back in February of 1993. Wouldn't know what we're talking about there, would you at all, Dave Chipman? Chipman, we're talking to you. The Waco assault killed in the assault on Davidian compound, all transferred from the Secret Service, where they were Clinton's guards, to the BATF prior to the assault. All 4 of them killed by friendly fire. Wonder if Dave Chipman's got anything to say about that. Were they part of the downed helicopter? Or maybe The downed helicopter that Dave Chipman was thinking about was the helo crash in May of 1993 that killed 4 individuals, sort of, linked to the whole Roosevelt incident. Well, we don't know. I don't know. John Wilhite died in a skiing accident. Completely plausible. This one here, I don't know if I put this there, but it is interesting that he was the vice chair of ARCLA and had ties to Clinton and Mac McLarty, whom he called just hours before his death. Everything I've been able to find on this says it's probably an accident. This may be one of the on the list where it's like, ooh, that's a stretch. Everything else is really fucking curious, though. Paula Grober, December of 92, a speech interpreter for deaf for Bill Clinton, killed in a car accident with no witnesses. Traveled extensively with Clinton from 1978 until her death. She would have been involved in several meetings. She would have heard a lot of things. And in 92, he was gearing up to get in a presidential race. So, yeah, there was a lot of information out there that could have hurt him, especially all the stuff from back in the 70s. Mario, crazy I said sub to Scott. Good for you. Yeah, something seems fucky is right. Mario says, Scott, I have an idea for your next video, if you are up to it. That sounds like impending doom. All right. Paul Tully, 92, Democratic National Committee director, found dead in hotel. Dear friend of Clinton and a trusted advisor, authored key strategies for Clinton and the Democratic Party. He was murdered. Murdered, folks. Murdered. Awesome Chamber of Defense. Thanks for the sub for Scott. He deserves it. Like I said, he is criminally undersubscribed. Another one of those individuals putting out great content that just needs to get that up and going. Victor Razor, plane crash, chair of Mobile Telecom, whose subsidiary is SkyTel, or was SkyTel, a finance co-chair in the Clinton organization, who soured. His plane went down in Alaska on a fishing expedition. Burnaby Sanchez stopping in. Good evening, folks. Good evening, Burnaby. How are you? Monty Razor, another one, killed in the same plane crash, and five other passengers were also killed on that fishing expedition. A lot of collateral damage with some of these, incidentally. But hey, we'll keep moving on. James Bunch, I could not find the date, but suicide similar to Vince Foster was a Texan with a black book of influential Texans and Arkansans who visited prostitutes. A rumor persists of potential notes on Bill Clinton. We all know old Billy was willing to get down with the cigar. So, all right, I need help editing for my vids. I need a new PC, says Chamber of Defense. Yeah, PC is important when it comes to editing videos. I am learning that. But, hey, there are ways around it. There are programs that are a little lighter that work better. I'm not familiar with some of them, but look around. There's some free stuff out there that will get you through until you get something. OpenShot is one that I used when I started. It's okay. It's not the best, not the highest out there, but it's pretty lightweight. It does a pretty decent job. So, it'll run on a potato. I'll just say that. James Bunch, suicide, like I said, the Vince Foster. Clinton's a prostitute. We already covered him. Stanley Huggins was murdered, partner in Memphis law firm investigating Madison Guarantee. His 300-page report was never released. Yeah. Florence Martin, murdered accountant, subcontracted to CIA in the Barry Seal case. Dead of 3 gunshot wounds to the head. At least they labeled that one as murdered. Sue Coleman's suicide, had affair with Clinton while he was the Attorney General. Suicide with gunshot wound to the back of her head. No autopsy. She was pregnant. Huh. So the baby there also was suicided. Let's be real. Mario, send him a DM. Mario, Scott is in my Discord as well, so you can get him from there too. Otherwise, Instagram. You know how to get a hold of him. Danny Cosolaro, suicide. Reporter investigating Whitewater, MENA, BCCI, and ADFA about to receive info linking Iran-Contra to the Inslaw scandal when he was found in his bathtub with his wrist slit. Yeah, I mean, totally had everything life by the balls, and which is a perfect time to just slit your wrists, right? I mean, at least he did it in a bathtub, so he was considerate, easy to wash up. Kevin Coney, Gregory Collins, Keith McCaskill, Jeff Rhodes, Richard Winters, and Jordan Kettleson. Between 1988 and 1989, they were all murdered. 6 Arkansas people who came forward with info about the deaths of 2 teens near the MENA operations. All of them were killed before testifying, stabbed, shotgunned, or burned. Local detective John Brown reportedly solved the case, gave the findings to the FBI, which sat on them. According to Brown, we now know we know who killed these kids. The reason this case has been stopped is because it tracks to Bill Clinton being involved in the cover-up. I'll read that again. The reason the case has been stopped is because it tracks to Bill Clinton being involved in the cover-up. All right, I'm going to read this to you. Okay, Mario Mechanic Molina, this is totally off topic. This is to drop it like it's Scott. He says, okay, Scott, take your SFX, your Canic SFX, remove the rear slide cover, take your executive and remove the rear slide cover, swap them out, add the SFX on the executive lower and the executive to the SFX lower. Just the rear slide covers? I'm guessing you might not want to record that when you first do it. I'm just saying. There's something fishy there, Mario. You're trying to get our boy taken down by some ATF boys. We don't want to do that. We don't need him ATF rush it here. Hey, we like Scott. He's a family man. All right. So, Kevin Ives, 08 to 87, murdered 2 Bryant, Arkansas teens who saw too much of the MENA airdrops found on train tracks. Initial reports said they fell asleep and was made by a state coroner appointed by Bill Clinton. Parents protested and after months had the boys exhumed and re-examined. Cause of death then changed to murder. The boys having been stabbed and skulls crushed before the train arrived. So, interestingly enough, LOL, no, makes sense. Question mark. And it makes sense, but it sounds like you're trying to get him in trouble. So, a breakdown of just what this is. Officials in the administration who have died in the first 4 years of the Clinton administration were the Secretary of Commerce, the Deputy White House Counsel, and Chief of Naval Operations. Of the 89 deaths that were listed above, 59 of them died in 12 incidents of plane crashes. 13 of them died in murders. 10 of them died in suicide. 4 of them died in Waco. And 3 of them died in accidents. Now, I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say that, really break that down for 1 second. If you are an individual and you know 89 people who died in these type of circumstances, what are you doing with your life? Like, this is a fucked up way to die for a lot of people that you know. If 13 people you know personally were murdered, they were close to you, were murdered, I'd have questions. If 10 people close to me committed suicide, I'd have questions. The Waco, the accidents, okay, whatever. But if 12 plane crashes, if I knew 59 people, or if I was closely tied to 59 people who died in plane crashes, do you think I'd be walking free right now? I guarantee you there'd be federal prosecutors up my ass so far, I wouldn't be able to fucking see daylight. Like, my eyes would be shut from how fucking far they'd be up there. Oh, G23 here. Hey, Mario. Hey, G23. How's it going? Other deaths that can be laid at the Clinton administration's feet or are very suspect include the 80 near Waco in the assault of the Branch Davidians, 170 plus at Oklahoma City, where tech and eyewitnesses do not match government story of the bomb, 1,100 in Chicago and surrounding area from a supposed 2-day heat wave, 120 in the Value jet crash where Chuck Hayes and CIA operative with info on Foster were supposed to fly, and 270 in TWA crash. Eyewitness accounts include Air National Guard pilot don't match the federal story. So, with the 90 above, this totals over 1,830 individuals who are close to the Clintons. So, just curious, I'm going to pull some of these up. So, the Chicago 2-day heat wave is an interesting one. Hey, G23. I don't know how you lay that at the administration's feet. Interesting one. But the Value Jet one, again, collateral damage associated closely. It's crazy. But then now recently, we know the Seth Rich murder has currently gone unsolved. It is the murder that Washington doesn't want solved. Interestingly enough, the unknown assailants gunned down the young DNC data analyst at 4 a.m. on Washington, D.C. straight and take nothing. It's very curious when you think about what happened here. Julian Assange strongly suggests on Dutch TV that Rich was his source for the DNC emails. So, curiously, he has the emails. He leaks them to Assange. Assange starts putting them out. He ends up dead, was labeled a robbery turned murder, and nobody took anything. So, I don't know how you can label it a robbery, but okay. We can also go here and say I can't remember his name off the top of my head, the journalist from Tarmac meeting. There we go. Yeah, I know. I just clicked the first thing there. It's Sputnik News. It's Russian disinformation. This is not truth. It's not reality. No, it's fucking true. It's real. It happened. But the Alabama TV anchor previously indicated that he has been receiving a lot of death threats ever since he broke the story. The latter sparkled allegations in 2016 that the Clintons tried to bury the FBI investigation into Hillary Clinton's use of a private email server during her time as Secretary of State. We all know this happened. This isn't new. But he is the one who, this guy is the one who reported on the Tarmac meeting, which basically ended fucking everything. So, yeah, Christopher Sine, a 45-year-old TV anchor, was found dead on June 12th in his home in Hoover, Alabama. Local police checked his home after a person down call around 8 a.m. According to Hoover Police, Lieutenant Keith, not even going to pronounce that shit, Zesklaba, probably. His death is being investigated as a suicide, although no details as to why this theory is predominant are available at the moment. I'm guessing he's being told to investigate it as a suicide. We've seen it before. A little bit older, but not out of our mind yet, is obviously Jeffrey Epstein. Ghislaine Maxwell, still alive somewhere, I think. I don't know. I haven't heard that she died anywhere, but interestingly, Jeffrey Epstein also killed himself in prison while on suicide watch. Didn't really have a reason to commit suicide. He was about to flip dimes as far as we were told. But anyways, he did it. He killed himself, hung himself on suicide watch. The guards forgot to do rounds that night, coincidentally. They lied about it. They're being prosecuted for it. It's not a conspiracy. He actually did it, folks. Jeffrey Epstein 100% totally fucking killed himself. I have come to terms with this now. The person who Jeffrey Epstein talked to about killing himself apparently also frequented a Spanish jail recently, and took John McAfee as well. Told John McAfee how Jeffrey killed himself so that he could do it himself too. So it's one of those things, guys. It's totally a coincidence. They didn't have any information whatsoever. Just nothing to see here, folks. Just a crazy, eccentric billionaire who says he has all this information on the, people in power, people like the Clintons. Nothing to see here. So, I know it's all just conspiracy theory. This is a catastrophe in and of itself. Not exactly that, but gotta come here and just see what's hanging around. So we'll kind of talk about a couple of these things here. Derek Chauvin sentenced to 22 and a half years in Floyd death. What do you want me to say about that? Interestingly enough, Minnesota doesn't, I believe, have truth in sentencing laws. So based on a 22 and a half year prison sentence, I believe he'll be eligible for parole in 8. So there's that. I'm sure he's going to fight it. We won't hear anything further on it because they don't want to riot. Sleepy Joe Biden's in office. They got other things to worry about, like how the Latinx community are going to receive Joe talking about him. What do we got? Trump organization could face criminal charges in district attorney inquiry. This goes all the way back to Rudy Giuliani having his law degree or his permit to practice law suspended. They're doing everything in their power to shut people up, which is crazy. I do want to talk about one thing that's not listed here. A little bit of history. Yeah, here we go. McAfee death sparks conspiracies. Imagine that. John McAfee's death. Prominent QAnon supporters say... I love how everything goes to QAnon. It's all QAnon. It's all QAnon. QAnon. Fuck Q. Q ain't got shit. Q is... I'm going to go ahead and say it. People who follow Q are as simple-minded as the individuals who follow CNN. If you follow Q, don't be mad at me for saying that. Honestly, look at yourself and look at the shit that they've been telling you. It's all part of the plan. They've been subjugating you. Whoever's running Q is running both sides of the opposition. It is about creating enough division and riling up the base while essentially holding back all of the energy. So all of the energy that can stop this is inside of each and every one of us. And the QAnon posts, everything all like that, it's all subjugation. It's just holding you back. It's holding the line. Just trust the plan, folks. Just trust the plan. It's working. Things are working. Just trust the plan. Sit back, do nothing, trust the plan. Sit back, do nothing, and trust the plan. That's Q. They put out information that gets you all tickle pink, feeling all good about yourself, feeling like, yeah, we're going to win. Don't do anything, just trust the plan. Don't do anything. Trust the... So Q, if you're watching this, here, I'm going to go over here with it. I'm going to go over here with it. I'm going to come up here. I don't follow that shit. And all of it, too, on the left is used to put us down. It's the same as they're a militia. They're 3%ers. They're part of the Patriot movement. They're just conspiracy theorists. They're just Alex Jones supporters. They watch InfoWars. It's all just a way to label us, folks. It's a way to divide us further. See it. Please see it. So, yeah, Q post shared to McAfee's Instagram minutes after his death in jail may indicate a hidden encryption. I don't know. Maybe not. Just a giant Q shared there, right? No. 0% chance he killed himself. Yeah. Mel Q wrote on Telegram, there is the possibly a key code to a dead man's switch, a file that has damning evidence against the deep state that is to be unlocked at the time of his death. We will see if this pans out. Only time will tell. As far as I know, the dead man switch that was supposedly put out there was not put out there in a manner where it's like there's an encryption key. It was literally individuals had the information, and if something happened to him, they were going to release it. I haven't seen the release yet. That doesn't mean it isn't happening through secure channels that I haven't seen. I'm not some super Saiyan hacker or anything like that. I used to get a lot of that information. I don't get a lot of it anymore. I could probably go find it if I wanted it, but I'm not going to do that because there's a whole lot of legal implications with getting some of that information. So in today's day and age especially, you look at what they're doing to whistleblowers now. Look at what they're doing to individuals. And it's not on both sides, obviously. It is what it is. He was in jail. He has a dead man switch. He died. His dead man switch has not yet activated. We will know soon if he is really dead or managed to escape from prison under the guise of a suicide, i.e. Epstein. So this right here in and of itself is people saying, well, Epstein didn't die. He didn't kill himself. He escaped from the prison and is off free living on an island somewhere. No, I don't think Epstein killed himself, but I don't think he's walking free. I think there was entirely too much information that was coming out against individuals he knew closely. Ghislaine Maxwell's been allowed to live because she has secondhand information in a lot of the big individuals. She's just she's just handled the girls, basically. Which is interesting and curious why there's so many kids that are being found now. And it's not in relation to anything other than child sex trafficking. So you can't tell me all the investigations are coming to a head without information from certain individuals. That being said, who do they have? They have Ghislaine Maxwell. So I'm going to say that again. They have Ghislaine Maxwell. Yes, Ghislaine. I have no idea how to say it. It's just fun saying her name's Ghislaine. The chick was fucking in charge of hookers. Of course, her name was Ghislaine. But another thing that I was going to talk about is the Black American flags. If you have not seen the all-black American flag going around, being hung up, individuals are selling these like hotcakes, and you're seeing them go up. A lot of people are saying these are tactical flags. Even here, it's just a blackout tactical flag. Yeah, it's just a cool flag to hang up. I want everybody to understand the meaning of this flag. This flag has been in existence for a long time. Didn't always have this many stars on it. But the black flag means something, folks. I hope each and every one of you know it. There are a lot more people that are hanging this flag, and there are calls for individuals to hang the black flag yet again. And I want you guys to understand what the implications of raising that black flag is. I personally don't think it's time to raise the black flag yet. I do believe if Dave Chipman is nominated to the ATF director, it is time to raise the black flag. But the black flag in and of itself is called a no-quarter flag. No quarter being a reference to prisoners. We will not take prisoners. We will not offer quarters. You will be shot on sight. There will be no reprieve once this flag is raised. I want people to understand that, because the patriotic community out there understands this. The militias understand this. And there are several individuals who are already raising this flag who understand the meaning of raising this flag. Specifically, a lot of southern states are already raising the flag. So if you are prepared to do what it takes when that time comes, prepare the black flag. When an individual raises the black flag, that means that person's line has already been crossed. So be cognizant of that. There are probably individuals out there who are simply just raising it because the black flag is the black flag. But it is no quarter. There are no prisoners once that flag is raised. And if you don't believe that an army formed against you will not know what the meaning of a black flag is, you are sorely mistaken. Individuals are taught the meaning of the flag. They are taught the rules of the flag, the laws of the flag, and the meaning of the different variants. The thin blue line, the green line, the red flags, those are cosmetics. Those don't really mean anything. It's a support. I support this, I support that. It's no different than the rainbow flag, because it's a cosmetic flag. It doesn't have any real value. But this flag, seeing it grow in popularity, seeing more individuals raising this flag and flying the black flag in color, I hope that individuals are of understanding of what this flag means. And I know now that you guys know what this flag means, so I hope you use it with prudence. Do due diligence. Understand. I don't care if you buy this flag and hang it. I hope that when you hang it, you understand the meaning of it and that you actually mean it, because individuals who are on either side of a potential shitstorm, they will be looking at this flag as potentially an individual who's on their side. Obviously, there's going to be trepidation everywhere, but I did want to put that out there before we ended this tonight. If you got a black flag and you raise it, understand what you're saying, because the enemy formed against you will understand what you're saying, and that will change their approach as well. So if you are going to, and I'm not judging anybody, the whole 3%er meaning is that 3% of the American population fought the war. The reality is maybe 1% of the people who say they're willing to fight the war are going to actually fight that war if it does come to that today. And maybe that'll be 3% of the American population. It's still a hell of a number. But there's probably 40% of the population right now that are running around saying they're willing to do what it takes. And I'm willing to say that 37% of those overall probably don't have what it takes. So if you raise this flag outside of your house, if you raise this flag on your vehicle, you raise this flag on your property, understand that you are saying you are not going to take any prisoners. Therefore, anybody coming to you to form against you will not do it themselves. So if you are not honest with yourself up front and you believe wholeheartedly that you are going to participate in all levels of whatever insurgence happens, understand that there's a good chance that you don't have what it takes. There's a good chance I don't have what it takes. Honestly, shit goes that way, I will probably spend all my energy protecting my family, because that's what's important to me. I love this country. I think this country needs to be saved. I don't see us saving it in its current capacity. I don't know when things are going to happen. I don't know when shit goes that way, but when it does, like I said, I'm being honest. I'm not prepared to shoot my neighbor's kid. I'm not. It's not a war that I want to have. Now, if they come for my family, totally different story. So, I'm willing to do what it takes to protect. Yeah, just like Mario said, if you have a family, it's highly unlikely. Yeah, it's reality, folks. Like, a lot of individuals out there saying, "Oh, I'm willing to do whatever it takes." They got 6 kids at home. No, you're not. No, you're not. I know a couple people who probably are. I do know a couple people who probably are. They've got a different type of life, though, I tell you. So, any reason I go solo, so be it. So, I don't want to leave it on a negative note. I don't want to leave it on a negative note. So you know what? I'm going to go here. We're going to have a momentary lapse of judgment, right? We're going to do a bit of music. I don't have kids, only a wife. Well, G23, that's good. That's good. That's good that you know where that stands. Everybody has their own thing. There will be penetration. Penetration. So here we are, screen share. A little bit. Mario, why don't you go ahead, throw up a little bit of a request. We'll see if we do it. All right, Mario? Just for you.
Alone in my head, alone in real life cause my homies are dead. My brody come home and I throw him some bread. They can't endeavor the shit that I've been through. And I used to sleep on the floor in the shed. I was in jail, thinking my life was just set up to fail. Think I'm the only one keeping it real. Don't keep that shit in, let me know how you feel. I'ma just deal with the pressures of life. The depression feel like I got weight on my back. Hard to get sleep when your enemies creeping and watching for police when you chasing them rats. I tell the devil get off me whenever he cross me. I promise the Lord got my soul. I got a problem when not letting go of things of the past and the things that are gone. I used to drown.
You know, yes, absolutely. Cat Milk brings up a good point. It is not all force. Logistics and resources will be needed. This is a common misconception of the whole theory of the 3%. 3% of the American population may have fought in the American Revolution, but it still required 33 to 46% of the United States population to support those individuals. So we have those numbers. You may not be the person that pulls the trigger. You may not be the person who goes out and does the defense of the country. The reality is you may be the individual who provides medical support. You may be the individual who provides food. Everybody has a job to do at that point in time. And in order to maintain a fight, sometimes it's not about fighting. Sometimes it's about quarters. Having a black flag, no quarter. That's great. You're not going to take any prisoners. But if you have a group of individuals that you trust and train with, maybe there are some shooters online. Maybe there are some individuals who are out there doing the work. But if you know those people and they know that you're a safe haven, they can come to you. That's a great thing too. Mutually responsible individuals are willing to take care of other mutually responsible individuals when shit goes south and they need it.
Patron, I was at the bottom of the liquor bottle way too often. Too late for talking, don't need these motherfuckers in my life. Nah, that's the way I'm rocking, that's real. Y'all want to smoke, well let me know the deal. I'ma just ride till this bitch got no wheels. Homicide in my eyes, the shit that I'm scarred from never could count my blessings. I can feel the evil that be all in my presence. Where were these people when I was doing my sentence? Now I'm known as the motherfucking vengeance. They hate when I get it, but even more when I spend it. I just wanna win some. I done lost back to back to back to back again. And I ain't going out like that, or maybe I'm just being punished for my sins. Who will I offend next? Trying to live a Grand Cardone life 10x. That can never happen on the Xanax. Locked up, dawg. Ain't nobody write me at the NX. Nah, Bitch, stop playing with a beast. I eat better yet, I feast. Far from a rat, but I'm after the cheese. Don't like how she act, throw it back to the streets. Peace. Hustle boulevard tactics, a whole lifetime full of practice. Money stuffed in the mattress. I rebel with the passion. How I find time for fashion. Hey. They got high hopes of catching me lacking. Y'all come in this bitch and I'm blasting. I'm gonna take respect, I'm not asking. Lived through so much shit that y'all.
Hey Mario, I haven't seen your request yet. What's up?
Alone in real life cause my homies are dead. My brody come home and I throw him some bread. They can't endeavor the shit that I've been through. And I used to sleep on the floor in the shed. I was in jail, thinking my life was just set up to fail. Think I'm the only one keeping it real. Don't keep that shit in, let me know how you feel. I'ma just deal with the pressures of life. The depression feel like I got weight on my back. Hard to get sleep when your enemies creeping and watching for police when you chasing them rats. I tell the devil get off me whenever he cross.
Alright, what do we got here? We still live? We're still live. We're good. I'm not hearing nothing from you guys. I'm thinking
I
we're
promise
done.
the Lord got my soul. I got a problem with not letting go of things of the past and the things that are gone.
Hey, actually, speaking of Black Flag, what do we got here? We're going to go... Yeah, Cyanide and Happiness shorts. I killed him. That's awesome. Cyanide and Happiness. Speaking of Black Flag, here. We'll find your Cyanide and Happiness shorts.
I'm tired of lies, we need to know the truth. Who can provide the answers? I gotta say what I say on a beat, what I do, and I really don't mind being canceled. Won't be surprised if it's cures for cancer. Wasn't surprised when Sleepy Joe cheated. Wasn't surprised when I exercised my rights in a song about it, it was deleted. Hidden agendas are obvious. How are all these politicians millionaires? Oh, it's because they've been robbing us. I can smell the stench of treason in the air. All these news stations work for the same man. Twist the narrative worse that they can. Make it about hate, make it about race. Divide and conquer, is that not the game plan? Mask off, I ain't wearing that. My little country town, we ain't hearing that. Everybody that I know voted Trump, but they allowed the fraud. Look at where we at, man. They keeping you home, got you depending on government loans. Damn. So truth be told, I'd rather get COVID and see how it goes. I won't be no sheep to this, and I pray I get 1 million other people out there repeating this. You cannot have our country, cannot take our freedom. America's ours, we're gonna bleed for this. I don't think they really understand we ain't giving our guns, and together we'll stand. There's blood spilled for the stars and stripes for the fallen soldiers fighting for our rights.
I say, ooh, black flag still waving. I'ma always speak the truth, so the left side turn off the news. They brainwashing the nation, but I'm a God-fearing Christian. They ain't never gonna change. How I told you, we'll be loaded. We the weapons, we the soldiers, we the people, never folded. Burn the mask, let's reopen, come together. We a force, we gon' force them to listen. Take the fate of our country out the hands of these politicians.
The government a bunch of lies, they throwing fuel on the fire. The media should retire, on my grind and not tired. Hollywood selling you lies, and all these sheep they just buy. Devil offering contracts, I ain't never gonna sign it.
All right, we'll stop that one there. But anybody's interested, this is Elso Burden. We've played him a couple times on here before. His entire album, Uprise 2, is available. #1 for download pretty much anywhere. It's also available on YouTube. You can go listen to a couple things, see what you want. He's got some interesting songs in there, things that have been shut down, pulled off. Sleepy Joe Cheated is one of them. That we all know stuff like that. Black Flag is an old school punk rock band with Henry Rollins as the singer. Yes, it is. That is another reference there. Black Flag is a lot of things, but as I said, it does come down to no quarter. The pirate flag is typically what people think is the no quarter. It's not. That's just the pirate flag. But we will do Mario's choice here. Cyanide and Happiness shorts. This is a new one. I don't believe any of these actually get popped, so we should be good, even though we did win our last one. I hate taking up the resources. I hate taking stuff down, but quick in the chat, let me know what you guys think. I did, obviously, I uploaded a clip segment, which was over a half hour when we were going through the AB 293 last week. I know you guys may not watch the clips. The clips are a little bit more for just kind of reach. I do want to do more of that with individual things that we're kind of talking about. episodes like this, I'm not going to clip out where we've got an hour and a half of talking about one topic. But when we do talk about certain things, maybe there's a segment in there that I think should be clipped, and I'm going to clip it. Let me know if you guys are okay with me releasing those on a day, like I did this time, an off day. The moto vlogs, essentially, I'm planning on Monday, Wednesday, Friday's release, at least during good weather. That may change a little bit as winter rolls in and stuff like that. We're already scheduled up for next week, so we'll have fun. I think I have one episode to finish editing, which will be for Friday, but trying to get into some more timeless content so we don't have to rush so much with getting stuff out. Let me know what you guys think about all that stuff. Like, that's what we're here for. Another thing, in 2 weeks, we are going to have a guest on the show, completely new type of guest. So it'll be good. We're going to get back to having some guests on the show here. Not necessarily huge guests, not big names, but good conversation. Individuals with differing opinions in certain respects. I'm going all over the board, guys. We're going to have some more guests on this show again. I feel like those were some of the funner shows. I do enjoy these shows, don't get me wrong. I enjoy hanging out with you guys and talking to you. But I think for everybody in general, it's kind of more fun to have another individual talking too. So since nobody wants to co-host, I'm totally joking. Not really looking for a co-host. Sometimes I'm not able to do this as well as I think. So here we go. Mario Mechanic Molina's request this week: Cyanide and Happiness. I Killed Him.
Today's short is sponsored by NordVPN. Stay tuned until after the credits for a special animation.
Oh my God, I killed him. But did I really kill him? After all, I didn't pull the trigger. It was that mugger who fired the gun as I struggled to stop him. Am I immoral for failing to stop an immoral act? No, I did nothing wrong. Except I held the door open for that mugger moments before he did the murder. I enabled it. Yes, it's my fault this man is dead. But I hold the door open for everyone. Can I be blamed for my good deed enabling the bad deed of another? No! It was his bullet that ended the man's life. But I sold him that bullet just this morning. The very bullet that killed this man.
You're good, Scott. You're good, Scott. We all fall asleep sometimes. I literally was rushing to get down here. Number one, I had internet issues when I got down here. So we started just a couple minutes late. I probably wouldn't have had such an issue if I didn't fall asleep putting my son to bed. So, shit happens. I kind of fell out, took a 5-minute nap. To be fair, though, I haven't really slept since Wednesday. So, that boy need to sleep.
A killer! A wretched killer! But then my job is to sell bullets. I had no way of knowing, and I donate part of my paycheck each week to the Children's Cancer Center, which is why I'm here at the bank in the first place. The money from the bullet that killed this man, a man who I now see is probably racist, may in fact save an innocent life. I am not only blameless, I'm good. I'm a good person. Awesome! Play the tape. Oh my God, I killed him. Awesome!
Oh, if only the inner monologue could be recorded. That's awesome. So, absolutely hilarious. Here we go. Laugh my ass off. So it gets better. Dave's Bath Time, a Cyanide and Happiness sponsorship. Is this what you're excited for this part, Mario?
Go!
No, I know you're not. I know you're a little behind me. Anyways, yeah, such is life. The inner monologue, things that just cannot be heard, cannot be recorded. He is sleeping now. That's great. I'm glad he's sleeping now, because the second I get up there, he will not be sleeping. Just the way it is. So, yeah, so like you said, guests would be cool. Yeah, actually, the guests we're going to have will be for the 9th of July show as of right now. I am trying to get other guests. I'm being a little bit... I'm reaching in different directions, guys. So, I've done the whole GunTuber interviews. I enjoy having those guys on. I enjoy having, Drop It Like It's Scott, all those individuals, Black Diamond Guns and Gear, Tundra. I enjoy having them on. They're fun, but that's not entirely my content. I do talk political stuff. I do talk politics quite heavily. I am going to start talking about a little bit more timeless topics. Some evergreen content, to help kind of grow a little bit. Not looking to be massive, just kind of get out there a little bit more, make content that'll draw more people into the conversations, because I think the conversations are extremely important, and the more people we have involved, the better it is. We want shooting videos. Yeah, I want shooting ammo. Like, shooting videos might happen soon. I don't know. Get Joe Biden on. He's sleepy too. So, Drop It Like It's Scott's falling asleep watching the show. I'm sure he's going to be sleepy on the show. Or, my luck, if I did actually get him on, it would be an episode that's just completely like this. I did this whole thing. It's kind of an ASMR type thing. We're going to have some fun. We're going to do this. Drop It Like It's Scott said, let's do it. Thumbs up and a pound it. We're good to go. All right. Yeah, so I shoot better than him, so he wouldn't take me. Absolutely. No, actually, you know what? That's a great point. I'm not going to go too far into this, but maybe that'll be an episode of TPR, Tactical Pineapple Rides, where I discuss my personal opinion about why women are better shooters than men. And maybe that's an argument that can be had in the chat here, but I do believe women in general are better shooters than men. I might have talked about it before, but I have a personal opinion on why that is. I agree. My wife is a better shot than I am, which is crazy because she has shot way less rounds than I have. But she is a better shot. 100%. Not going to argue that. And she has been from the beginning. I'll say I would love to say that she had a good teacher, but she don't listen to me anyways. Yeah, she's only shot 3 times in her whole life. Yeah, and she's the only person that I know who can take a SIG P238 to 35 yards and hit a fucking 3-inch grouping on that snappy little fucking 238 pistol, and she does it without issue. So, good for you, Mrs. Pineapple. Good for you. Not better shooters. We equal on that. They are better students and no freaking ego. I believe they're better shooters. I'll touch on it just really quickly. I'm gonna do this as a fucking TPR. Yes, I am. I will. I agree with you. They are better students, and I agree they have no fucking ego. But I believe that they are more separated from their animal brain, and that is why they're better shooters. Men are more Neanderthal than women. It's 100% true. Nobody can deny that. I mean, real men, not like the skinny jean wearing fucking fembots that run around calling themselves men today. But men are closer to their animal brain, and the fact of the matter is we are holding something that literally fucking explodes in our hand, right? So there is an explosion that's happening in our hand. We have to fight to train our instinct to flinch out. Women don't have the instinct to flinch. Their brain isn't thinking about this thing is about to blow up in their hand. They're literally focusing on sight picture, target, trigger. Boom. That's like the thing. They don't have this instinctual like flight mode that their brain goes in every single time they shoot. No matter how much you train, men just like to go fast and not take their time. Pa-da-da. That's exactly what she said, folks. Men just like to go fast and not take their time. Well, frankly, men don't have to take their time. All right, totally different subject. Anyways, women are used to things exploding in their hands, Laughter says. Oof. I think the Tundra board goes ooh. Anyways, yeah. So I'm gonna save that whole commentary for a Tactical Pineapple Rides. I think it would be good commentary, good concept down in the subject. You know, the comment section. That's my opinion, though. I believe it's a separation of Neanderthal from, you know. Yeah, it'll be a good conversation to kind of have, break up the monotony a little bit, evergreen content, and who knows, maybe that's the one that helps push us up to 1,000 subscribers. If you haven't already, folks, head on over, give us the big thumbs up, hit the little ding dong diddle down in the fucking bottom. If you don't have notifications on, then what the fuck? What you're here? You probably have notifications on. Otherwise, you just know my Discord has been just pinging the shit out of you lately because we are uploading Monday, Wednesday, Friday. This week we went Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Plus we got the live stream. So I'm putting out content for you fuckers. I hope you appreciate it because I'm actually appreciating doing it. I'm having fun. I'm learning a shit ton. And to be completely honest, I couldn't have picked a better medium for myself because I just literally have to do what I enjoy doing, and I'm creating content for you guys. So, same thing with this live stream. I enjoy doing this live stream. I enjoy having this every single week with you guys. I am going to cut it tonight. Mario, thanks for the share on the Cyanide and Happiness. They are always hilarious. I do like the Cyanide and Happiness series. If anybody is not familiar with them, go look them up. You got hours and hours and hours of content to go watch if you're not familiar. So, folks, yes, I'm wearing a tie-dyed shirt tonight. You would be happy to know this came off of some fucking dead guy in Florida. I didn't take it off of him. He wasn't dead when it came off of him. It was, long story short, I got it from my mother-in-law. I appreciate it. It's actually kind of a comfy shirt. It kind of fits me. I'm not a stoner or anything, but I do like to have a good time. And so it's been warm today. I mowed the lawn in my freaking work clothes when I got back home from work and just kind of needed to dress down a little bit. So I know y'all here for it. I did not kill Scott. I don't know what you're talking about. I know this is way too big of a shirt for Scott. Yeah, my wife had to throw her stiff flowers away. It's funny because if y'all know anything about my family, my wife works at a hospice center. She literally brought home flowers a couple weeks ago, and it's like she got them from a family. No, I totally understood, Mario. I understood. I'm just saying the shirt is way too big for Florida. Way too big. Yeah, way too big for Florida. My shirt's way too big for Florida. I'm a big son bitch. So, no, this shirt is entirely too big for Scott. Operator Tony saying, who missed me? Tony, where the fuck have you been? You didn't even get first comment of the day. That went to Dr. Catmilk literally at like 6 o'clock this morning. So respect to Dr. Catmilk on that one. Operator Tony, we all missed you. You're late though. Where the fuck you been? You fall asleep? Normally this guy falls asleep at the movie theater. Today he watched the entire F9 movie, and then he just Oh, he was outside cop watching. Here I thought he was going to be asleep. I was going to get to make fun of him, but hey, we all like to cop watch. There was a shooting down the road. That sucks. Welcome to home ownership. Nothing like bringing down the value of your home as soon as you get there. Tony, you woke me up, LOL, says Drop My Like It Scott. 2 kids shot, 1 in the leg, unknown location on the other. Yeesh. Hope they weren't protesting. Sorry, too early? We talked about Derek Chauvin a little bit already. 22 and a half years, 8 years probably mandatory. Up for parole after that. He'll probably get out. Probably before that if he doesn't fight it anyways. But it'll be the last thing that we hear about it. So that's a good thing, right? At least for the next 2 years. They were playing basketball. That's shit. I hate seeing it. It happens all too often. Sounds like his old neighborhood in Los Angeles. Yeah, it's actually becoming more common pretty much everywhere. I mean, that shit's got to stop. I don't. There's nothing we can do about it either. Democrat-run cities. That's all I got to say about that. Cue the video of Forrest Gump, and that's all I have to say about that. And that's all I have to say about anything tonight, folks. I was going to try to leave on a happy note. Operator Tony showed up and fucked it up for everybody. But hey, Operator Tony, we love you anyways. Don't forget, head down into the description. If you're not already a member of the Discord, join the fucking Discord. We need to kick that fucker up a little bit. Have a little bit more conversation in there, so maybe not everything that happens in that Discord is me pinging you guys, hey, I uploaded another video. Which isn't me anyways, it's just a fucking bot. But hey, Operator Tony says my bad. No, it's okay, bud, we love you. To everybody who shows up week after week, Operator Tony, Mario Mechanic Molina, Dr. Catmilk, Mrs. Pineapple for making this possible, Drop It Like It's Scott showing up, everybody else, Laugh Turd, Crazy Eyes, G23, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for stopping by. It has been a fantastic week. I hope you guys have a fantastic, more fantastic, even better fantastic fucking weekend. If you do ride motorcycles, keep it shiny side up. If you don't ride motorcycles, enjoy your fucking cages and your air conditioning and all the creature comforts that come along with it. Don't worry, I drive a car sometimes too. I've drove my car the last 2 days. Fucking rain. I appreciate each and every one of you for stopping by. Have that great weekend. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your friends. Do what you have to do to enjoy life in general. And I will see you guys back here next week. But we got uploads Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for sure. I'm not clipping shit from this week, so y'all don't have to listen and worry about a Thursday video. Have a great one. I'll see you guys back here next week.